had a really, really big crowd. You remember at the chapel during his
Right.
funeral? And I was looking up at Tom, and I said, man, there goes my best friend in the world. And it come to me, probably about half of the people in that chapel were saying, man, there goes my best friend. And that's the way he was. He was.
But
He had more friends and more people.
Seemed to not like people. But for someone who didn't really like people, he knew a lot of people. He spoke highly. The people that I spoke to, they spoke highly of him. I don't know, I imagine he's got enemies, but for a guy that was so grumpy.
He kept the innocence through the whole thing, all the travels and everything. People will still scam him and sometimes get something outrageous in his articles because he was an innocent and he believed it, everything. And that's part of what he was too.
I said I had friends that I grew up with and stuff, and they'd call the house and they'd be like, "Hey Chris, what's up?" And I'd be like, "Oh, not much. How you doing?" They're like, "Oh, I'm pretty good. Can I talk to your dad?" And it would be like, you know, you don't want to talk to me, and they'd want to talk to Dad. And they'd spend, I mean, you know, because he coached Little League and Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So a bunch of people, I mean, stayed in touch with him over the years.
Plus he was a funny guy.
Oh, he was funny.
Yeah.
Definitely funny. Those poems he used to write. Do you remember the one about when he couldn't smoke in here anymore?
Yeah,
Oh, you
we
have
have
it?
one.
Is that in
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the funniest thing
So
ever.
look at this, if you get a chance.
I don't know how many, gosh, well, here's one, 13 more days, 13 days and counting, and then there'll be no more. 13 days and counting, sure, I'm keeping score. It goes on and on about it.
Wow.
Every day he had a poem. And something would happen around here.
That's funny.
And the next thing we'd know, we'd come in the next morning, or sometimes that
3-page
afternoon
poem.
after lunch, and there'd be a poem on my desk. He made copies for all of us.
We expected it after a while. We
Right.
enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, he wrote about people coming and going, and this is Dale City Nightmare. And I think that was, the Rev is in this one.
Oh, really? Ah.
This is somebody's wedding. I think this was Sandy's wedding.
No,
Remember
you
seeing
may
that?
remember that he loved to travel.
Yeah.
I had to go
In his
with
little
him.
Pinto.
Yeah, and beyond.
Stupid little
but,
fella.
And
I remember one time, I wouldn't tell about it. I said, well, Tom and I decided to go somewhere new. He went to New Zealand, and I went to New River. New River's a little outcast of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And I remember one time he was coming back from Norway, cold weather operations. He was bringing some cross-country skis. And he'd gotten to the U.S., and the last leg was going to be by bus. In the middle of the night, he was jet-lagged, he was tired, he'd been messed over for about 3 straight days. He'd been fighting with those skis. And it's the middle of the night. The bus pulls up. The driver says, Richmond. He got his ski and got off at Richmond. As the bus is pulling away, he goes, Richmond? And then they closed the bus station. I mean, and it wasn't even in Richmond. It was one of the satellite stations. And he still was nowhere.